For the Athenians, welcome to Toastmasters, and to the very welcome guests we have each month. We always have so many guests in this club, it's fantastic to see. And I've been a member here 2 years, and it's great to always see so many guests and to hear the very short stories we hear when we do the introductions. It's always nice to hear. And Chucks, as normal, did it in a great manner. In fact, I thought it was better than the way it used to be done, where all the guests would stand up. And I kind of used to get the feeling sometimes some of the guests felt a bit uncomfortable standing up for so long. It's much better the way it's handled now, with people standing up individually, and I would imagine the guests would probably prefer that as well. So well done on that. It's funny how you can take things for granted when you come to a very good club, and it's only when things go wrong that you realise, wow, actually things are really good here. And I felt tonight was in a way a case in point, because sometimes I think we can take for granted how super efficient things are in this club. And at the beginning tonight, it wasn't quite up to the normal clockwork standards that we've come to expect. Not that things were in disarray by any means, but it kind of highlighted that, wow, we are really just such a great club normally. And it wasn't bad, it just wasn't to the normal standard we have here. One of the things about any Toastmasters club, Athenians and any other club you go to, it's all about feedback, and especially constructive feedback. And so I'm going to go on to I'm going to give most time to the evaluations, because that's one of the best parts of the meeting, because the people that write the speeches put so much time and effort into the speeches. It's great when they're given evaluations, which helps them to improve. And all of the people here also, when you write the evaluations down on the slips, that's a great benefit to every speaker. So our first evaluator, Gloria's Glory. Can't believe that Gloria hasn't evaluated for 2 years. Incredible. Probably the person in this club who is the most encouraging to members, because she always writes fantastic comments on the slips to every person who speaks, and just gives so much encouragement. And to travel from Bournemouth every week is simply astounding. She needs another round of applause. She was as encouraging as ever. Great commendations for Kevin, astute in her recommendations, and the only recommendation I'd give is maybe to vary the pace slightly a bit more, because it was a bit one pace, and I thought that was the only minor recommendation I would give. Second evaluation was Mr. Enthusiastic. In the rhyme of Mr. Bombastic, but Mr. Enthusiastic, Peter van der Sloot. So eloquent, great gestures. And he obviously keenly listened to Charlie's speech. There was some great commendations and recommendations. The only recommendation I could really think of is maybe to repeat what the objectives were, because I thought he maybe could explain why he felt the objectives hadn't been actually met in the speech. But as usual, a master evaluation from one of the best in the club. Number 3 was Ashen. Go straight in, talked about that this was as good as a 50-second speech rather than a second speech from David. And actually had to mention David, that was one hell of a speech. Really enjoyed it. Some good comments from Ashen. He was proud to be at the same club, but it was so brief. And I felt you could have commented more on if you weren't sure on how to kind of fill it out a bit more, because it was so brief. Maybe comments on the delivery, the meaning of the speech, the use of prompts, etc. But I very agree what you said about David's writing skills, because they really shone through. And we definitely need to hear more of Ashen's lovely language style that he gives on his evaluations. Our table topics evaluator was Hassan. And again, he dove straight in, didn't hang about, because there's not so much time, although there was only 5 table topics tonight. I felt he was looking down at the floor a little when he was thinking. But he hardly used his notes, and very useful commendations and recommendations to the speakers. And there was a very good use of hands, listening skills, always good use of humour from Hassan. Maybe no need to say thank you quite so much. Right, Toastmaster, Christopher Payne. How infectious was his enthusiasm. Can you believe that was only the first time that he's done that, though? And it's similar to what Ashton said about David. That was almost like he'd done it for 50 seconds. Something fantastic job, really well done, Christopher. That was the way you led the applause. It was as good as I've seen in this club. It was almost perfect. Really well done. Our chairperson, our super skater, Squeegee, just looking so suave and elegant tonight, and she was as efficient as usual. Really, really well done as well. Timekeeper, Anthony. First time doing the job, some great quotations when he was explaining the role. I loved the way he was talking about when we went through the lights and the reason for the lights, and then talked about the bell, and if you still ignore the bell, he was going to set the hounds on you. And when the bell did go, I was waiting for the hounds, but unfortunately we never saw the hounds. But maybe next time you can bring a dog with you. But it was some very good summaries when he actually came up and read the time reports, and it was done in a very confident manner. Romarian Baha, is it Baha? I'm not sure. Baha. The role, when she did the explanation at the start of what the grammarian role is all about, I think focused too much a little on the word of the day, because it's also about use of language. However, when she actually did the report, she was just talking mostly about the use of language, and in fact did it in an exemplary manner, so very well done. Topics Master Alison, the Chancellor of Topics, I've written there, with some Teutonic questions. Recruiting speakers to talk about misbehaving, debauchery, and other scandalous acts that clearly no Athenian would ever have any part of. We were all waiting with bated breath to answer, for Emil to answer about his anatomy. But an extremely confident and assured delivery from Alison. Very, very well done as well. There was some great speeches, or mini speeches, when we did the election roll from both Ashton and Roberts, and very good reasons on why they should be voted for. Paul Carroll, when he was doing the chairing of the whole election roll, Paul is just the epitome of efficiency, and always has been, and the meeting was back on track with ruthless organisation from the slightly shaky start that we had. Generally, it was a very enjoyable meeting, as always. There's no recommendations I have as such as the club, because the club is so well run. There's always great enthusiasm and humour and entertainment when you come in, and that's the reason you come out on a Tuesday night. If it was boring, there wouldn't be so many people coming here. It's always very entertaining. So, thank you very much.